welcome to the Psychic Side. I'm your host, John Cappello, and we're broadcasting from the A1R Psychic Radio Network, the number one psychic radio network on Earth. So today is a very special day for us. We are broadcasting our first 30-minute show, and we'll be taking your calls, and we're going to be kind of intermingling some things in there that I want to talk about. So if you have questions, or you want to tell me a little bit about your own psychic development, or if you want to ask questions about about psychic work or whatever, please feel free to ask. But while we're waiting for our first call, I do want to just tell you a little bit about last week. Last week we talked about clairsentience and we talked about clairfragrance and clairgustance, which are basically psychic smell and taste. And that kind of wrapped up a little bit of my teaching of those particular psychic senses. Now we're going to go back and forth and talk about nuances of each of the psychic gifts that we have. But today, while we're waiting for a call, I want to talk a little bit about how people perceive psychic ability, because it just seems like it's there's so many extremes. You have so many people that dismiss it entirely, and then you have other people. You have other people that want to divert you from your psychic ability to have you do things like get into witchcraft or some other types of rituals, or have you use tools. And I'm about being a purist, and I want you to learn to be a purist first, and then learn a little bit about the tools that are available to you. Before we go to our first caller, I just want to tell you I've been working a little bit on my psychic certification courses, and I was looking on the internet just to see what other people were doing, and I've run across some people that take psychic ability as a joke, and that's just not good, because it's not helpful to make fun of people if they're trying to tap into their abilities. And it's very demeaning, and it lowers people's self-esteem. And I'm not about that. I want to empower you, and I want to help you grow and become more of a complete person. So let's take our first caller. Who's our first caller today? Jessica. Okay. Jessica, you're calling from Lafayette. Is that right?
Correct.
Hi. Is this Jessica?
Yes, this is Jessica.
Okay, where are you calling from today? Is it Lafayette, Louisiana?
Yes, it sure is.
Okay, all right. Is there something? It just seems like have you been perplexed about something? Is there some type of sadness or loss? Is there anything going on in a relationship right now that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, there's I'm going through an awakening.
Okay.
And I've been struggling with a lot of relationships because of that. I kind of feel like I'm at a
Crossroads.
Yeah, crossroads. There you go. Exactly
Okay.
what I was looking for. A crossroad, and I'm wondering. Like, I feel like I have a blockage because of that, and I just wanted to see if you had anything for me.
Okay. Well, Jessica, I feel like the first thing you need to do is try to meditate and be at peace. And realize that the universe works on its own time. What is your birth sign?
I'm a Taurus.
You're a Taurus, okay. Well, Taurus has gone through a little bit of a rough time in the past couple of years, and now it's going to go through a time when there's going to be a major transformation in your life. So when you say that you're feeling a little bit bewildered, or you're feeling a little bit at a loss, that's where Taurus is right now. But take heart, and just know that you're supposed to just take a deep breath and do things at your own pace. Kind of let the universe be a little bit in control. Don't fight things that are going on in your life. Now, Taurus is a fixed sign, and so you want to be in control. You want to be in control of what's going on around you, and you want to make change when you're ready to make change. So So the universe may be saying to you that you've got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. So I also feel like you're a little bit of a self critic. You beat up on yourself. And you've got to realize that if someone wants you, that they're going to have to accept you for who you are. And so I would just stop trying so hard, and I would just kind of be myself. Okay, so do you want to try that for a little bit and not try so hard to kind of put a round peg in a square hole, that sort of thing? Yeah, it just seems like you need to just give yourself a little bit of a break and just kind of go with the flow for a while. Would that be okay?
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your call.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye.
So I want to go back and talk a little bit about your psychic profile because that's one of the first things that we spoke about when we started our program. I don't want you to think that you're not psychic because we're all psychic to some degree. And that's why I try to get people to develop their psychic profile. And it may sound a little bit silly to some people, but if you get in touch with who you are, then you will develop your own confidence and you won't be so worried about what other people can do because you know who you are, you know your limitations, and you know where your strengths are, and you'll know the areas where you need to improve. You know, I've done this now for a few years with the psychic profile, but I see now I've got to expand it because it's not just learning the lingo that I profess strongly with. That's the base. The base is the things that you feel, things that you see, things that you hear, things that you know, see, smell, or taste. Those things are the bases. But then we go and start to nuance it because some people see things or know things like in their mind's eye, or they hear things just over their ear, or they notice things based on a body part where the psychic sense is. Then of course knowing is just above the head, but there's also those areas where they see them in the physical world, or they experience a psychic impression in the physical world, and this is something that needs to be recognized as well, because if you have that particular gift, that's something extraordinary to actually see an apparition or to have an angel appear to you in kind of in a empirical form or a physical form. That's pretty amazing, and that's something that you should cherish because it's not everyone that gets to see those things, or not everyone that gets to experience them. You know, we talk a lot about the paranormal these days, and there's all kinds of television shows about the paranormal. But when we experience it on our own, a lot of times we just don't talk about it because it's scary, or we don't want people to think that we're crazy, and so we want to be grounded. We want people that are going to listen to us, and that's my role. My role is to listen to you. My role is to not take what you say for granted, because so many times people will say, "Oh well, who do you think you are?" or "That sounds so silly," and you might say, "Well, I feel like that's my psychic ability," and then some people will say, "Oh, that's not psychic," and then you come back and say, "Well, then what is psychic?" And because I've had it done to me, and people say, "Well, I don't know I don't know what it is, but it's not psychic," but they don't know what psychic is. So it just seems to me like there's a lot of fear out there with people not wanting to admit that they have psychic ability. They don't want to admit that there is existence beyond the physical, and that's a problem for me because it's something, I guess, it's a world that I live in, and it's a world that I find myself, the older I get, becoming dismissive of those that think that they know more than I do about what is psychic and what is not psychic. If something comes to you from out of nowhere, and it's credible, and it makes a big impression on you, that is most likely a psychic impression. Now, there's other things that can be nuanced, like anticipation. There's other things that can be uh, a part of our consciousness, but that are not psychic. But we'll talk about those things. We talk about those things in our work and on this program. And if you want to talk about those things with me, then you can, because we're about validation. Because if you're validated, you feel better and you get a little bit more confident. So let's go ahead and take our next caller. Okay, Sharon. Okay, Sharon from, is it Washington State?
Yeah.
Sharon. Okay. Sharon, do you have a man in spirit, like a father in spirit?
Yes, my father is passed.
Okay. Because it seems to me, have you been reaching out to him lately?
I try to all the time. I meditate and stuff.
Okay. Well, very good, because he's reaching back. He says that he loves you, and now I don't know if it's just me or what, but he's showing me tulips. Do they grow a lot of tulips up in Washington State, or is this flower time up in your part of the country?
What was that?
Flowers. Are there lots of flowers blooming in your part of the country right now?
Oh yes, I garden a little bit.
Okay, so he's talking about these flowers, okay? And he says, don't get in a hurry, okay? Because he says that Sharon, do you think a little negative at times about what your future is going to be like?
Yeah, I kind of worry a bit about it.
Okay, because he says you need to enjoy yourself. He says that look how talented you are with the flowers that you grow and the things that you do, and he says that things aren't as bad as you might think they are. So it seems like you worry a lot about money and you worry a lot about your future. Are you by yourself?
No, I have a husband.
Okay, but it seems like you just you're always in your head. You're always thinking, what's next, or what am I going to do if I'm alone, or stuff like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a question for me today?
Well, we're looking for a house. I'm just wondering when we will be moving, and that's what I think about.
Well, for me, it looks like you're trying to fix a few things in your current house. Is that right? Are you trying to get it ready for sale?
Trying to empty out junk we don't need because we're renting.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're trying to shape yourself so that when you are ready to move, you can move. It looks like it's going to
Yeah.
be a little while before you can move. I wish I could say it's going to be around the corner, but it looks like you're going to have to wait. Now you're trying to purchase a house this time around.
Yes, my husband's waiting for his stocks to go up.
Yeah, aren't we all? uh,
Yeah.
well, that's why he's going to have to wait. He's probably going to have to wait another. And please be willing to wait maybe as much as a year, okay? Because in
That
an
sounds
election year,
reasonable.
pardon me?
Oh, that sounds about right and reasonable.
Yeah. I would continue to pare things down and just get lean and mean and save as much as you can. Interest rates are still on the rise right now, and so the more money you put down, the better. And I feel like the stock market is still just kind of level at the moment. It Some people are predicting it's going to go down by the end of the year. Going to go lower. Um, I'm not sure about that because it's kind of slowly growing right now. It just depends on who you talk to. But the energy around it for me is that it's just inching along. Okay, it goes a step forward, 2 steps backward, another step, 2 steps forward, and then but slowly but surely it's growing. So I think you're going to have to wait about a year before you move. Okay.
Oh, okay, that
Okay.
sounds good to me.
Okay.
Can I ask one more question?
Okay. One more question.
My cousin Katrina, she was always kind of jealous at me or judgmental, but I don't know what I do to her or how I come off for her to be that way to me, because to me, she's my cousin and I love her.
Well, Katrina has some self-esteem issues. I feel like she is not only that way with you, but she might be that way with other people. She has a little bit, and I hate to say, a little inferiority complex. So I feel like the way she treats you is similar to the way she treats other people. I wouldn't call it jealousy because I think that she holds you in high esteem. I think that she admires you. Katrina sees that you're able to do things more easily than she does. It's almost like it's a chore for her to do things that you make things look easier. So I'm not going to call it jealousy that she has for you. It's just that when you speak to her, I think you need to just build her self esteem up and tell her, how good she is, how smart she is, and just build her up. Of course, it may not feel right for her, but still in all, Katrina needs to build her self esteem up. But she does think a lot
Okay.
of you. At least that's what I'm seeing. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes me feel better. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay. All right. Well, that was 2 callers there. And one thing that I want you to notice when I'm giving readings, try to see if you can recognize any of the mechanics that I've talked about in some of the other programs that we've done here on the Psychic Radio Network, because there are certain mechanics that go into using your psychic ability. I like to get started with people without them saying anything because I just pick up the energy. So if you're around someone, people, you might want to just pick up the energy first. Of course, some people say that my head seems like I'm always in the clouds, and they think I'm aloof. Well, maybe I am. I don't know, but I'm really just looking at the energy. And a lot of times, I don't remember a person until I see their energy, and I go, "Oh yeah, I remember that." I'll remember their mother, or I'll remember their brother or someone. And but it's something that I think that we all do naturally, is that we pick up someone's energy before we actually introduce ourselves. And some people say, well, how do you do it over the radio, or how do you do it over the internet? Well, it's just about energy. And so when you pick up people's voice print, or you pick up their their soul's energy, then you can read them. And if you remember, I talked a little bit about that rubber band ball that I use as an example. So when people have an overriding issue, or they have something that's going on around them, that rubber band, or that energy string, if you want to call it, is out of balance. Well, that's what I pick up. Those are the things that I pick up, and those are the things that I pick up quickly. And so that's why I look for those things first, and I try to do it with a straight face and without someone noticing what I try to do. But if you watch me, then you can probably pick those things up. You can see what's going on. And this is all part of developing your own psychic profile, because the way I do it, the mechanics that work with me may not be the same mechanics that work with you. Because, for instance, I will see things in actual, the actual empirical uh, energy, or I'll see a person, I'll see a place, or I'll see a thing. Some people pick up symbols. And they have no idea what I'm talking about when I talk about seeing a person or seeing something around another individual. But but that's how it works with me. But I've met them, and they say, well, I see such and such, or I'll see a color, or I'll hear a sound or something. Well, that's great. That's your strength. That's your strength. And one of the other things that I wanted to talk about when we just never seem to have enough time here, even with 30 minutes on our program, is door openers. Okay. I call them door openers because when we first meet someone, we immediately get an impression, and that impression can be visual, it can be a symbol, it can be just anything. But after you get that, then it opens the door for your second strongest psychic sense to come involved. And then usually our logical mind comes into play as well. So you might notice that mechanism working with you when you have a psychic impression. And it's like I say, if you're around skeptical people who don't believe in psychic ability, or want to put you down or act like, oh, well, that wasn't a psychic impression, you're going to have to set them aside a little bit. Excuse me. You have to set them aside and just work on yourself, and be willing to believe in yourself a little bit and work with that mechanism. Just try to figure out what's your strongest sense, because like when I'm working with the students now, like I said, I'm doing this psychic profile stuff. I'm going to develop it into something bigger, but everybody is a little bit different. So most people pick up a feeling first, and then they may pick up a vision. But some people pick up a knowing, and then they pick up a vision or something else. And all of those things are great, but it just means that that's how your soul energy works. So today we've taken a couple of callers, and I hope that you'll tell your friends. I hope that you'll like me on my Facebook page, because I'm trying to build that up. I've been doing this 30 years, and I haven't paid as much attention to the social media like I should have. And so many people that started many years after me, who are also very, very good, have thousands of likes and everything, and I don't. I have a few, a few, couple of thousand, uh, but uh, but I appreciate it if you'd like my page, and contact me for a reading if you like. Oh, I just meant to tell you too that this weekend I am going to Lubbock, and I'm going to be visiting my friends at the Purple Mandrake, Kendra and Keith Graham. They're just wonderful folks. I'm sold out already in Lubbock, and I'm just very pleased that that's an area that has taken to my type of work, and so I'm excited to go there. After that, I go to Oklahoma, and then after that, I'll take a little break, and I'm going to go to Houston. So, Houston, you guys got to remember me. I've been coming down there for many years. The pandemic threw a wrench in everything, but I'm coming back. And also, I don't want to forget talking about my sponsor, Miracles of Joy. Joy Koff and my friends at Miracles of Joy in Louisville, Texas, have always been great to me over the years, and they've been kind enough to sponsor our program for an extended period of time. So I'm appreciative of that. Be sure to use that promo code PSO223, and you'll get that 25% discount. So we have a few minutes left in our program, and so I want to continue to talk a little bit about how psychic energy works. It's the soul's capacity to capture information from beyond the limits of our physical senses, and and that's exactly what we've been doing here today with the two callers that we had. We spoke to them, and hopefully we immediately picked up on the major issues that they were talking about. The first lady was talking about relationships. I could feel her pain. I could feel that she was sad that there's not a major relationship in her life. But sometimes we just try too hard. Sometimes we just have to be ourselves, and then the universe opens up for us. And the other lady seemed to be very, very close to her dad. Her dad was right there, and talking to her about flowers and about her gardening and things like that, something that she really enjoys to do. So those are the things that hit me immediately when I was speaking, or when their energy kind of entered into my frame here on my program, and these are people that I'm sure are thinking about the things that I just said to them. How did he know that, or how did you get to those things? And it's all part of a mechanism. It's how the energy hits you, hits your energy field, and your strongest psychic sense picks it up, then opens the door for your another second strongest sense or more, and then you have this symphony open up around you, and then your logical mind comes in and helps you figure out what the heck just happened. So I'm delighted that I was able to share that with you, and we're going to be doing that from now on here on the program. So I hope that you will call in if you have questions, and if you want an extended reading, something that's more in depth, please go ahead and go to my website at johncappello.com. I think you see the way you spell my name here, and set up a time for a longer reading. And if you want me to do an astrological reading, I can do that for you as well. And so with that, we're going to be closing down our program today. It's always a delight to be here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network, Moonstruck TV. And one of these days, I'm going to list all the other places that the show is available. It's just such a long list, it'd take all 30 minutes. So we don't want to do that. But if you're going to be in the Lubbock area, yeah, I'm sold out, but never know. Somebody might cancel. And come on over and to the Purple Mandrake. You'll see all the great crystals they have. And we'll talk to you later. You take care. And so long from the psychic side. Bye-bye.